the film came originally from a place of existential thinking, of existential questioning, reality, questioning our identity, and trying to figure out how our perception of reality really is all we have, and how our thoughts shape the reality around us. I was trying to figure out what the difference was between reality and dreams, what separates people that make it, so to speak, and don't make it into the dream life that they want. Because I believe that there is nothing separating us from, I don't know, like the greatest and most successful people in the world. We're all the same, but what is it that tips things over? And then I started reflecting upon children playing make-believe, and I started wondering why, from the moment we're born, or just like from the moment we're kids, we have this instinct to play make-believe, to sort of like rehearse at life. Nobody tells you as a kid, go play house, but you just do it. It's like an unwritten, ontological law that we're all born with. And then somehow we stop playing that game and we become adults. But how is that any different from kids playing make-believe? How is our life, our society, our world that's made of invented rules, invented names, invented jobs, invented things all around us, and also like material things? I was like, it's like a play on a stage, and I am the director and the actor, and I have surrounded myself with props, and people casted this whole thing to make myself believe that I exist. And then I was like, oh, Plato's cave, Pirandello that said we're like 6 characters in search of an author. Shakespeare, we're all mere players on a stage. The Matrix, it's just Buddhism, reality is shaped after your thoughts. And I was like, reality, humanity has been saying this for so long in so many different ways. We've always had this strange, chilling idea that we might not be alive for real, that we might not actually exist, that we might be the dream of a dream, that we might be part of a simulation or part of a hologram. And instead of getting too on the dark nihilistic side of it, I was like, well, if this is true, then can I dream myself into reality? Can I believe something hard enough to the point of making it come true? And this philosophical thesis became the underlying message of the movie, and it also became my mission a little bit. I wanted this to be the testament. I wanted this to be my legacy. And as I was working through the script, and I wanted to use metaphors, I wanted to use a real story. I could have written an essay, but I was thinking about the Odyssey, I was thinking about Dante's Inferno, I was thinking about Alice in Wonderland, I was thinking about all the great pieces of work that I've fallen in love with throughout my life. It's always a flawed hero. I want it to be the hero's journey. So the girls are basically tragic heroes. They're flawed. They have dreams, but they can't meet those expectations. And they have fears and insecurities. And something crazy happens to them, the inciting incident that sends them, which is their drug raid, that they're drug dealers and they want to become artists, but they can't. New York City's swallowing them up, and they're counting drugs in this gritty, disgusting Brooklyn apartment, and then they get busted, and that's the inciting incident, and that's the moment of non-return. It's once this happens, they have to embark upon this journey. And they get on a train and they decide to go rob this girl who they used to be really good friends with when they were little, and the girl basically has led the exact opposite life, because she stayed at home, inherited a lot of money. She's just sort of trust fund kid that has it all ready for herself, but at what cost? She doesn't have her freedom. Whilst the other 2 girls are free, but they're prisoners of a world that doesn't allow them fully to be who they are, because they can't meet, they can't overcome their fears. So they go into this underworld of this world of make-believe, this upward hell where Daphne, the rich, wealthy heiress, who's also a schizophrenic, very unstable, very violent young woman, keeps them prisoners. So it's sort of it starts off as a home heist movie, but then it turns into this psychotic, nightmarish, twisted Wonderland, and the girls have to go through all kinds of trials and tribulations to find the safe, to find the money to pay off the drug lord, because they got busted, lost 80 grand. They go there with the intention of robbing her, but what they're truly after is emotional safety from the outside world. It's just sort of like they get stuck in this like cyclical, never-ending loop, just like we all get stuck in like our paranoias, our delusions, or like toxic relationships, or bad habits, etc. And it's hard to break that loop. It's like the hero's journey. It's supposed to be a circle. It's supposed to be point A, go into the underground, into the underworld, and then return. They always return. Alice in Wonderland goes back home. The Odyssey, he eventually goes back to his wife. But it's not that easy. It's not like that. You don't wake up and your demons have somehow expired. So yeah, and I wanted it. I didn't think, oh, this is gonna be like an uncompromisingly like feminist edge movie. I wrote the characters. They happen to be girls. I love that they never talk about guys ever throughout the entire movie. Aside from the fact that obviously, yeah, they're nobody's love interests or nobody's sisters or daughters or anything. It's just like, not for a second they're like, oh my god, that boy, or like, no, they're there for the money. They get weird and like shit gets violent, and they have they're selfish in the best way possible.